So I'm Kelly Weston and I'm the COO of the Data City, and we are building one of the UK's most valuable data sets measuring economic growth, innovation and investment. And we do this through a SaaS platform, and our biggest clients, we've got clients from both public sector and also the private sector. And as COO, my job is to deliver the vision through the team. And working obviously in a tech business, that means that it's ever changing. We're constantly innovating. So it's a really exciting, challenging, fulfilling role. Yeah, like a lot of people my age, I fell into it. So I started out in digital marketing, which I really loved. It's a really dynamic environment, always changing, and it's really, really fun. But I guess the bit that I liked about it most is that you would have a company come in and they'd say, build a website. And then when you start asking them a few questions, you realise that they don't have the business structures in place to fulfill. And so you end up doing sort of a bit of a business analyst role. And that's what I always loved about it. It was really engaging and you learned loads about lots of different things. So when I became a management consultant, I would go into businesses and do an audit, and I started to sort of really work alongside the directors and creating vision and mission for companies. People were looking at me as a leader. So when I started with the Data City, I was just doing 1 day a week, which crept up and crept up. And I had just seen myself, probably typically female, as a digital marketeer. That was my world. But I was really getting a lot of work with tech businesses and loved it. And the Data City, they're a team of really capable, curious, engaging, vibrant people. So it just became logical that I would just do more and more days. So obviously we've got wonderful universities, and so they supply a constant pool of talent, especially for tech. Cybersecurity, data analysts, software engineers. And so that's incredible. But then we have such a nurturing ecosystem of things such as All in Leeds, the Leeds Digital Festival, product assembly, and loads of grassroots. And all these events, they're brilliant for networking, mentorships, collaboration, innovation. Add to that a great digital environment. The cost of living in Leeds and the north is much better than down south. And you just got the perfect storm really to help businesses. And what it means is that businesses can spend the money that they would be spending on rent and recruitment and things and invest it back into the business and do lots of R&D and scale up and make efficiencies. So yeah, Leeds is a brilliant place. We love having our headquarters here. We have people from all over the UK working for us, but we absolutely love being part of Leeds. And we just, a lot of businesses can struggle to recruit, but the universities just supply us absolute top talent. So a big thing that we have in our business and the way that we onboard our team and sort of teach them a new way of working is we work at pace. We work in the open and we work on a first worst basis. So whatever that is, whether that's writing a blog post, making updates to our website, making updates to our platform, we work really collaboratively. We remove all the red tape and we just get a version out there. And from doing that, then we know what's good, what's bad, how we're going to improve. And we just work massively at pace. So that means that we're constantly innovating. When we're out meeting people and they're saying, could you do? We're like, we've got the data, we could do that. How would you present it? So it's just about being really curious and working at pace. Yes, so I guess the two biggest things that we're working on is we are working with DSIT, which is the Department of Science, Innovation and Technology, and the MP George Freeman and Cambridge Econometrics to work on high cluster growth areas. So this is a huge report, and the exciting part there is that we are not only supplying the data, but we're also building the tool that visualizes these high cluster areas. So that's really exciting, and we'll have lots of different phases and be open to the public. And then the biggest thing that we're working on is we are getting ready to go global. So it is just incredible. The platform in the last 2 years is just phenomenal. It's so usable. We've got so many more data points, and now what we're doing is doing our first worst version of global, and that's already proving to be really exciting and really highly in demand. Absolutely huge. I think I was quite naive before working at the Data City as to how big innovation was in Leeds, in Yorkshire, in the north, but manufacturing, the R&D that goes into manufacturing and streamlining supply chains now more than ever is absolutely huge, and also the environmental impact of that and trying to create a circular economy. I mean, you've even got legal tech. It's just permeating all areas of all businesses, and it's so important, and we just need that government support to keep on developing, to invest in R&D for all companies, really. Levelling up is essential, whatever we call it, whichever government is in charge of it, whatever the name ends up being. It's absolutely essential for the progress of the country as a whole. How do I see us achieving it? I would certainly say our data can play a huge lending hand in that, because what it is, and a lot of the work that we're doing at the moment around clusters is about showing where those areas naturally occur because of the education systems that are in place, or the manufacturing plants that are in place, and making the most of those and extending it, and then extending the courses that you offer in those areas, the transport and infrastructure. So levelling up is absolutely vital, and in order to do that you need to understand the data and what it's telling us and use it wisely. Get involved. Go to the Leeds Digital Festival, you'll meet loads of really welcoming people. Speak to, if you are at university, then speak to your career advisors, get a mentor. Mentorship is absolutely huge, coaching and mentorship, and there's so many people that are willing to do it. Get out and about, go on Eventbrite, meetups, collaborate with the kinds of groups that you're interested in, and you'll quickly realise that the world is a lot bigger than whatever your area of interest is. So sometimes something that is seemingly not exactly in your ballpark can really introduce you to the right people. So it's just get out there and get involved. It has made partnerships for life. I have met people through the Leeds Digital Festival that I wouldn't have met in other walks, and they have then proved really great long-term partners. It's such a level of collaboration. I might be using too many words, but it's just really engaging. I have been to talks that I have just learned so much from, and it's also really reaffirming in the sense that people are really willing to share information and help collaboration. So I think it's wonderful. Well, I'm a little bit biased here because my husband created the website, Creod. So I think it's really good. It's just such a useful tool, and one that could be recreated and have other uses, which I know that they're willing to do. So it's just so helpful in a one-stop shop for finding information. Definitely worth using. I think it's the leaders that I've worked with. I have worked with some incredible people. When I first started out, I worked for a tiny agency in Bradford, and I worked directly with the MD of the company, and that experience just made me see everything in a really holistic way, and it's how I've approached every job I've ever had. So I guess it's those leaders. I've been really fortunate that I've worked with some really strong characters who have just been willing to share information vision and their approaches. And so I think it is all of those leaders and obviously